Morning, everybody. Just want to let you know that if you're talking in the room that you are muted on the Zoom, so none of us can hear you.
Went over the edge down here.
Okay, can you hear us now?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Thanks, Mike. And James, you were saying?
I went over the edge the first year they did.
And not since then?
We just called the meeting to order a moment ago before we unmuted, and we were just commenting on the successful United Way jumping off the building thing.
Thank you, Matt. I appreciate that. Is there a note up there that just popped up?
Yeah, so.
The AI note taker.
The AI?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get rid of that.
So just for the record, we don't ever call that jumping off the building.
I did use the word repel. I used the word repel in that too, Mike.
I don't need to explain.
I would call it.
Yeah.
And congrats too, I think, Opportunity Networks for another success over at the Nash recently. So if Rocky comes here, we'll give him a little round of applause. That certainly is going to help their bottom line in the great work that they do with their clients, as well as around inter-regional transportation for their members and clients. And I think there's one more congrats out there too, to NRPC. I believe you have a successful grant application with New Hampshire Charitable Foundation for the opioid abatement program.
Yeah, Donna's going to talk about that in a little bit.
Okay, we'll talk about that a little bit, but congratulations on getting that. We look forward to getting a copy of the information about it down the road. Anyways, so moving on with introductions, let's start with Matt and come around this way today.
I'm Matt Wickens, staff here at NRPC.
Salem Quinn, NRPC.
Donna Masso, the Regional Mobility Manager here at NRPC for the RCC7.
Carol Totske recently retired from New Hampshire Department of Health and Human Services Bureau of Emergency Preparedness, Response, and Recovery, 20 years of doing emergency planning and response. So I'm still very vested in this and would like to learn more about what you are doing and more about transportation issues across the state. Thank you.
Tina Michelino from Lamprey Healthcare.
James Wilkie, caregivers.
Beth Bro, caregivers.
Angelique Pandolf, Director of Transportation at Easter Seals.
John Parade from the Gate City Bike Co-op.
Blue Air Voices of Major Drive.
Marianne Gamache, Greater Nashua Mental Health.
Carrie Miller from Nashua Transit.
Emma Rarick at RPC.
Mike?
Mike Affelberg with United Way, and I have to drop off at 10:30, so sorry about that.
Okay, so noted. Sandra, hi, welcome back.
Hi, good morning. Sandra DeLosa, Town of Merrimack's Welfare Department.
Thank you. Good to kind of see you. Noni.
Hi, this is Nani Ebuano of the Main Street United Methodist Church and the Nashua Area Interfaith Council, plus others. Thank you.
Ben.
Good morning, Ben Herbert, Region 8 Mobility Manager.
And Jim.
Jim as in James?
Yes.
Jim is fine. It just says James, so I'm going to make sure it was me. Jim Leach, Harbor Care, Veteran Services, and the Homeless Veterans Reintegration Program.
Thank you very much. And I can't read the James down there, but I'm reading Jim off of another list. So
that's perfect.
There you go.
Jim is fine.
There you go. Well, welcome everyone, and thank you all for taking the time to come. We've got some business to attend to that is a must for today, and then hopefully we can have some additional discussions. On the agenda, first up is the May 2026 meeting minutes. I hope everyone had a chance to review them. If you have any changes or corrections, now's the time to share that.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Anyone second? Any more further discussion? All right,
I'll second it.
I
Mike,
think Mike seconded it.
well, I didn't see his hand, but that's okay. Whatever you want to do.
It was my voice. I said, yes, I second.
Any discussion, any further changes? All right, roll call vote. Sandra,
I'm gonna abstain.
okay? Carrie,
Yes.
Marion,
Yes.
Bill,
Yep.
Mike,
Yeah,
pardon me, no, wrong one, sorry. Mr. Perry, Dawn.
Yep.
There you go. SVTC, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
NRPC, super great, thank you very much. The next item on the agenda is again the two-year cycle of election of officers and confirmation of two designated representatives. At the last meeting, we presented a slate of officers, all of whom volunteered to do another two-year stint. We had no nominations from the floor and no emails since then of anyone who was interested in joining the group or having a role. So the slate is myself as chairperson, Carrie Miller as vice chair, and Matt Wakens as secretary. Any discussion? If not, can I have why are you cringing?
Me? No, I'm not.
Is that a yawn?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm fine. I'm just yawning. Forgive me.
Long morning so far. Sorry about that.
Motion to accept the slate as presented.
Second by
Second.
Angelique. Third by Mary Ann. Great, love it. All right, any discussion, anything else, any other nominations? Okay, so roll call vote. Sandra,
Yes.
Carrie,
Yes.
Mary Ann,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Janet, SVTC, Carol told me to say yes.
Yes.
Angelique,
Yes.
caregivers, NRPC.
Yes, do we need Mike at the United Way?
Oh, Mike, sorry, Mike.
yes.
Here we go. All right, we have two individuals who have voiced their interest in being on the executive committee again, and that is James Wilkie and Rocky Morelli. Is there anyone else who is interested? Again, we heard nothing at the last meeting and nothing in between. Can I have a motion to approve these two gentlemen?
So,
Matt?
yeah.
Matt's moving it. Who wants to second? Bill's gonna second. All right. Any other discussion? Stephanie. Hi, good. You want to sign in? We've got paperwork here. And please help yourself. We've got bagels and.
I was here earlier, nobody knew, my husband didn't send the right thing, but good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
And you are
Stephanie Michaud,
from?
I'm with the Southern New Hampshire Rescue Mission, I spoke to Donna.
Thank you. All right, so we have a motion to approve the executive committee members on the floor. It's been first and seconded. Roll call vote, and we'll start with Matt.
Yes.
James,
You
you want to abstain?
I should say.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
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 Mike,
Yes.
Sandra,
Yes.
super. Okay, thank you very much. And more than likely, the executive committee will attempt to meet next month. But anyways,
Remind you.
you remind me, thank you. Well, it's gotta be well before or well after the Milford Rotary swim meet, because we're gonna be
Priorities.
deep in the end of the pool by then. Not rappelling off of buildings, but you know. All right, so the next item on the agenda is something that kind of popped up, and Matt's gonna speak to this. It's a review and approval of proposed dental care rights rate adjustments for FY 27. And this is actually going to go retroactive to the beginning of the fiscal year for the two-year cycle. So it really is going to cover FY 26 and FY 27. Matt, you want to take it away? There's a memo at the end of your
Yeah,
packet.
that's attachment 2 and so just that background. So at NRPC as a lead agency, we have agreements in place with vendors that participate in our community rides program. And each vendor has a negotiated rate per trip for providing those trips. And New Hampshire DOT requires the RCC7 to discuss, the rates and approve them. So that's what we're doing. We've done it in the past. We're adjusting this particular set of rates. So the Gentle Care rides, they're one of our providers, and their rate is being updated as Janet said, just retroactively to the beginning of the contract period, which is this past July 1st.
I got it.
You got it?
Yeah, thank you.
And we're just going to discuss that right now, talk about the adjusted rates, and then vote on adopting them or not, as the case may be. So we have this table here, and it compares what the approved rate was with what the new rates poses. And so if you look at the approved rate, it was initially $180 per round trip ride when the ride was in Nashua, no wait time charge in Nashua, and then trips outside of Nashua were $4 per mile plus $40 per hour if waiting time is required. And then it was kind of unwieldy that way when you really started figuring it out and trying to we would get a invoice from Gentle Care Rides, and we try to kind of figure out the mileage and all these different things. It got unwieldy. And then of course, Janet, you can jump in because you have knowledge as well.
Yeah, part of the problem was that the spreadsheet that NHDOT provides that we need to use for billing is not flexible. And so in order to justify and make that work with the bills that were being sent, plus I believe that there were some providers that weren't sending bills that were actually matching the contracted rate, it needed an overhaul. And I think in doing so too, this was really the first go at this. Perhaps some of our providers didn't realize maybe what the potential costs could be. So I think this is a really good time to refresh, revisit New Hampshire DOT, point out the places where maybe they could be a little more flexible in terms of their spreadsheet, although they have to follow federal guidelines and we all recognize and, respect that. But so that this is not quite as difficult both for NRPC's lead agency position and staff members, nor confusing for our providers, because certainly when you have billing challenges, that puts a provider off relative to wanting to participate in a program, and we need providers. There's no doubt about it. So that was part of it, and we can just FYI, you can expect that we will be bringing more in August for the 2 taxi services as well.
Yeah. So, is that helpful?
Yeah, where does this money come from? It's not 5310?
Yes, it is 5310. It's a combination. The NRPC, this program, the Greater Nashua Community Rides Program, is a 3-part partnership. Okay. Inspired by Donna, and some of the information that she had, we were able to come together. That NRPC Foundation provides the match money as, again, the recipient of donations towards match. Okay. And then NRPC as our lead agency is involved because they are our lead agency and they manage the contract with New Hampshire DOT for the 5310 portion. So the billing comes through them, same as with caregivers or anything else, NGS.
So I guess my concern is, and I'm not saying it's wrong, but just at $180 per round trip, as this starts to grow, where it's a pilot program right now, that's gonna draw down funds pretty fast.
But remember
Is it adequate?
Remember, it's 80% federal, 20% local.
Yeah.
And the number of rides so far have not pushed us to the limits. There are funds available.
Okay, I just want to make sure
Yeah. The challenge, and the challenge has been, normally we would have an end of year report and we would have some regular reports relative to the payments out of this. But it's been kind of all over the place. And, you know, unfortunately, NRPC lost their finance person to another agency, so we're playing a little catch up too.
So Janet, if you could help me to understand, is this
Yep.
actually a rate increase or is this a rate restructuring?
It's a rate restructure and a rate confirmation. Because if you look at the table that you got, you know, the 1 hour trips less than and the 1 hour greater than 22.5 miles, you know, weren't specified before. And then certainly the weekend and after 5 rides were not mentioned before. Those are new. But it's my understanding, and again, I'm speaking from the position of being the NRPC Foundation Treasurer as well, so I have a little other background information in my hip pocket. We haven't had any really after 5 rides, that wheelchair rides that I know of. Right? Donna's shaking her head, yes, okay. And we haven't had any weekend or holiday rides, but I think this puts it in a position that should those come up, we've covered that base relative to what the expectations would be. Does that help, Mike?
It does. Thank you a lot, actually.
Is this just for wheelchair rides?
This is just for greater general care rides, sorry.
Right, but they'll do like a
It's just
wheelchair
wheelchair,
or other, or just
Just
wheelchair, okay. And then, my second question, I guess, is just like, do we have any like context on like how they're determining like the wait time or like what they consider to be wait time, or is it standard for them to wait for every ride they do? Or I don't know, I just feel like that is sort of be really subjective, like.
Well, I think the ones in Nashua, they don't necessarily wait for. I know in one case they did, but generally speaking, they're based in Nashua.
So they'll.
Donna, jump in here if I'm going off rails.
Right, no, that's right. In Nashua, they usually take them and then they go do something else.
Do
and then
other
they
rides.
pick them up.
But for one instance, we have out at one of the western towns, they're not gonna go pick up the person, drop them off in the next town over, go back to Nashua and then come back. So they're going to wait for the person.
Okay.
You know, and that's generally kind of the way it's worked out. And I think that's reasonable. I mean, I wouldn't expect that they're gonna drive all the way back to Nashua or sit there and do nothing. I mean, that's business time.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would expect them to go do other rides.
Yeah, potentially they can do that when they're.
Right, and I just didn't know if that would be considered wait time.
If they had other rides, maybe they would, and maybe we can work with them on that.
Right.
But again, most of the rides that are being required for wheelchair rides outside of the city are outside of the city of Nashua. There's some, yes, I know you've done some within Nashua, but another part of it is outside of the city of Nashua. And again, a place where there is no Nashua transit really, some of them. For some of them. You wanted to say?
I think there's a lot of it is things that can't be done with the local systems that we have. So if the driveway isn't accessible, or the schedule doesn't work, or maybe they're not registered yet. So there are instances where it is a local provider can't provide it. So then we do the ride, we try to do the ride for them as much as we can.
But again, the point being, the ones in Nashua, generally they're going to do something else because they have something accessible to them.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
What is their coverage area for general?
could you speak up?
Oh, sorry, general care rides, like what is their coverage area? What towns do they?
Southern New Hampshire.
Oh, just all.
Oh, yeah, take a look at their website. They have a very vast,
I'm
yeah.
just curious. I didn't know like where they, oh, everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. And then we have had rides to the Dartmouth further north, that system.
Yep.
And so we've tried to do that where we can.
Oh, okay.
So that's really out of bounds, but they do
Yep.
try to accommodate us on those. And those are long rides and long wait time and expensive.
I've seen their vehicles on the highway. Like, yeah, just around here, I mean, but.
Yeah, no,
I was
and-
wondering like where they went, so.
No, and I believe that they have a Medicaid contract as well, so I see them frequently over my way,
Yeah, they're.
other than our ride, and they're in Manchester too.
Yeah, no,
Back to
that's
you.
all good conversations. So, think, as far as what each rate is, we talked about the round trip.
Noni, let Matt finish and then we can jump back to Noni.
Let's see what Nani has to say.
Noni?
Yes, please. I'm a bit confused. What we are talking about right now, does it apply to the paratransit? And does it address the need that Margaret and I had brought up long ago? Because I had somebody say outside Nashua. So please, can you explain further whether it takes care of our own needs? Thank you.
Go ahead.
But Nani, we're just talking about, so this is one of the providers for our community rides pilot program. And this particular provider is our wheelchair accessible provider. And it's not Nashua Transit System at all. It's not related to Nashua Transit System. It's just a provider for the RCC, NRPC Community Rides Program. Does that help?
A little bit. So this provider, can they include the need that Margaret and I had brought up several times here?
I think she's talking about like going to Boston.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was gonna ask. So Noni, are you talking about the rides to Boston?
Yeah, and to Margaret's Longwood. Margaret's Longwood.
I think that's, and I understand that, I think that is a different component, not necessarily based on this particular provider.
Okay, please, Matt and the others who are in charge, are we still keeping that in view to see how that need will be addressed? Because I am confident that you guys will be able to take care of these needs, because Margaret has even found out it's not only two of us, there are others who need this help.
Donna?
So I just want to say, as far as what the requests are for, I haven't had a wheelchair ride request to Longwood. So that hasn't come up. So it hasn't come up, Nani. So I just want to let you know that.
Thank you. Please, I'm still appealing that some of us may not yet get to that stage of wheelchair, and I pray we don't. But if we can be included, I have seen that the ones I ride, some wheelchair people are brought in and we do it together. There's so much space in the bus that it can take more than wheelchair. I'm just appealing, please, on behalf of those of us who need that extra help, but we haven't gotten to the stage of wheelchair. Thank you.
Yeah, the general, just so you be rest assured, Noni, the general topic of transportation to the Boston metro area from non-emergency medical transportation is still here. It is still right, let's see, I wrote it down right on my agenda. That and youth transportation, those are two topics that we haven't put to the side by any means, but it's looking for a sustainable way to do it that makes sense.
Thank you.
For the funding that's available. So
thank you all.
Welcome. Matt, back to you.
Yeah, so I just thought I'd, just go through the various rates. So, we talked about round trip within Nashua, outside of Nashua, And then one-way trips that are less than 22.5 miles per hour, or, I'm sorry, miles. That's $180. One-way trips that are over 22.5 miles. Those are $180 plus $4 per mile after that. And then I think we mentioned it earlier, rides after 5 p.m. are also going to be charged an additional $40 per hour. And then a trip on a weekend or on a holiday is a $180 base plus $4 per mile and $40 per hour after the first hour. So those are the rates. And that's what we're going to consider here.
And to circle back to something that James brought up relative to the amount of funding available, certainly if the amount was dipping, that is a time for the gatekeeper, which is our regional mobility manager, Donna, to, if a request came up for a weekend ride that wasn't mission critical for someone, then we have to prioritize. And that's all about managing a budget and managing funds available. So sometimes you do have to prioritize. We know Nashua Transit has some priorities that they've put in place relative to budgets and being able to provide service and outside of the city of Nashua. So, it's the logical thing. And right now, NRPC is doing monthly billing. So it's not like we're waiting 3 or 4 months to see where we're at. We know on a monthly basis, basically where we're at relative to this program.
So those are the rates for our consideration. And we'd be looking for a motion to adopt those rates. So I'll put that out.
I would move that.
Thanks, Mike. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thanks, James. Any further discussion?
The rate's not changing, but just like for reference, is it like comparable to the other providers? Right program?
This is right now, this is the only wheelchair provider that we have.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, the other one that was a little bit less expensive went out of business. And there's another one in the area, but I honestly don't think they're operating.
I just have a general question.
Yeah.
On the trips that tend to be over the 22.5 miles, $4 per mile, what is the average type of additional cost related to those trips?
Before you answer that, Janet, let me say I have to actually go off the meeting, so I probably need to rescind my motion and can't vote.
Okay, we will then revisit this after we answer Rocky's question. Thanks, Mike, for letting us know, though. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yep.
I think at $4 a mile, that can be a significant supplemental additional cost.
And quite honestly, I do not have the mileage numbers in my head, and I don't think Donna does either. And we don't have that spreadsheet here. There have been occasional
A time charge would be easier to understand than.
There have been occasional rides that have been at a significant distance. One was to New London, and it was a wheelchair ride, and one was to Hinsdale, and it was a wheelchair ride. And those were early on. Those were a while ago. So again, I don't have that information. Most of the rides have been relatively within this area. We certainly can pull that information and run that report and share it. That's not that hard to do.
Just feeling that non-ambulatory people might have limited resources in some cases, and those examples you just gave would be a significant cost.
Exactly. And they were, one of them was for a medical appointment, the one in New London. The Hinsdale one was pretty mission critical. That was the one to inspect a relocation for housing, but there was no way the individual could get there. Correct, Donna?
Except that that was not a wheelchair ride, it was a taxi ride.
Oh, sorry, I take it back then. I will correct myself on that one.
But the person, and actually Mike,
He just
ref-
dropped.
He's off now.
but he had referred that
Right.
person to me.
So where was the other long distance wheelchair ride?
So that, up north.
To Lebanon?
Right.
Okay,
Which is a specialty service. That was probably the easiest.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there is some discretion involved.
That's all.
Yes, ma'am.
Is this a fleet of cars or is this just,
You-
is this a fleet
Fleet.
of cars?
They have,
5, 10, 20?
I don't know how many they have, but I know that they have two.
I think he has two.
Yeah.
Handicap accessible vans are very expensive, so
Mm,
and not as common as we would like.
And they only occupy one person in a
A
wheelchair?
lot of them will do one, some will do a couple, and larger vehicles have more capacity.
It
but-
depends, and it depends on the funding source and the service that you're doing. Because there are some wheelchair providers that will do multiple rides, but generally that's under the Medicaid program, I believe.
Thank you.
See, this would be a great opportunity to try to be able to work something out with another organization that has wheelchair accessible transportation. Unfortunately, we didn't get that opportunity. I know you. And in the past, though, we have tried to use GSIL too, before they ended the transportation program. You wanna come join us?
Yeah, once we have the staff, yeah.
That might be my retirement.
No, wait, I wanna make sure everyone heard this because this is an issue industry-wide.
Yeah.
Once we have the staff available. And that's a challenge for you guys, that's a challenge for Nashua Transit, and it's a challenge for the volunteer driver programs as well.
Until you find out some people.
So further discussion, questions? Yes,
So staffing wise, is it staffing to monitor the program or staffing to
Drivers.
drive,
Drivers.
drivers?
and that's been an ongoing issue since 2019, 2020. Would you concur with that?
Oh, absolutely.
I'd say even earlier.
Maybe, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably earlier, but it definitely since then.
It's all service agencies and it's at different levels, other than maybe upper management. Even middle managers and people that operate programs are all running short staffed.
You just said you're a one-woman show.
Supervisors, yeah. I would just say like the transportation sector in general, just perpetually short-staffed in kind of all areas, whether it's mechanics, whoever, it's just kind of revolving door. I mean, I think everyone knows that, but maybe not.
And I know Donna got a call from one of the local banks, and somebody was interested in starting their own transportation service, and that's not the first time that we've heard that here. We've had at least two individual groups that had approached us at various public events that wanted more information about how to start a transportation business. And we had referred them to New Hampshire DOT and Fred Butler because of the licensing pieces in that were, obviously beyond the scope of this. Try to give them some referral to get them into the business, at least as another provider, another resource in the area. And this was a non-Uber, non-Lyft. It wasn't that kind of driver. It was somebody who really wanted to start their own small company. All right. Since Mike has rescinded his motion, do I have a motion to approve and adopt the rates as presented? Carrie, do I have a second? James? If there's no further discussion, then we'll do a roll call vote. Sandra?
Yes.
Carrie?
Yes.
Marianne?
Yes.
No?
Yes. I'm gonna abstain.
Okay. Rocky?
Yes.
SCTC, yes.
Yes.
NRPC?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Much appreciated.
Yeah.
And that is retroactive to July 1st, 2025, according to the memo. All right, so the next item on the agenda, this is a good hot topic just for discussion. Generally, the RCC or the SCC and NHTA, New Hampshire Transit Association, and the State Coordinating Council all take July off. And I know NRPC does for most of their committee meetings. So we wanted to throw it out there for this group. The opportunity to take a recess for July and then also consider going to every other month for RCC meetings starting in August. That would put us at like August, October, December, February, et cetera, et cetera. If in fact there was a obligatory action item that we needed to do for New Hampshire DOT or the RCs or the 5310 program or something, we would call a special meeting. And that could be, that would be with a couple weeks, hopefully notice. We tried to, and we were considering, what does the normal New Hampshire DOT schedule look like relative to their grant opportunities and that, and when decisions have to be made for the RCC, because oftentimes for funding, it has to have RCC approval before New Hampshire DOT will roll forward, or we can submit an application. Right now, we don't know when the next solicitation is going to come, sometime in the fall, maybe November. It's a little fluid. Last year, I think, or 2 years ago, I think it came out on the Friday before New Year's at 3:30 in the afternoon, if I remember the email from Fred Butler correctly. Okay, Friday, 3:30, 3:45, going, yeah, Fred, that's really nice of you, right before a holiday week. We really do appreciate Fred Butler. We know he's busy, but that's the way things kind of roll sometimes. So what do you guys think about going to every other month? And understanding that on that off month, that would give the executive committee and any subcommittees like the locally coordinating transportation plan goals committee, a chance to meet on the off month. And I understand what you're gonna say is we don't want to lose momentum and I totally agree.
I did say that.
But I think we need to give the group a chance to vote.
That's a long time in between seeing my friends in Nashua. Have to wait every 2 months to see these smiling faces.
Oh, no, you're on the executive committee.
I think it's a long time. I don't mind coming.
Okay.
I think it's a great idea. As far as personally, my personal schedule goes with my job, it would be great. I would love to meet every other month.
I have a question.
Yes.
I believe the SCC is looking at a similar approach. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Will our schedule align with their schedule? And is there a reason to consider that?
Great question.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about what exactly is being proposed for the new schedule. All I know is that is being discussed at SCC leadership. But they also don't have another meeting until July.
No, until August.
I'm sorry, August.
Okay.
They're not
August.
meeting in
Good for
July,
what?
so
Yeah.
I don't have any updates until August.
And Rocky, also, I don't think in general, any of the RCCs necessarily align with the SEC because some of them meet quarterly. Some of them meet every other month or an even numbered months or things like that. Right now we meet monthly. And they also meet the first week of the month and we meet at the end of the month. So I don't know, I don't know if that's a priority necessarily, but it might be moving forward that if they meet at the beginning of a month, we might meet at the end of that month if it's a month that we meet. So,
And that's my question.
But I think it makes sense, though. I think it makes sense to meet it on the same
the
monthly
same
schedule that they
schedule.
do. So that information isn't super old.
Yeah,
If something comes out on the first week and we're meeting on the fourth week, it's,
then,
though one of the items in our communication and coordination goal is to improve communication and have RCC7 emails coming out if there's pertinent information in between. In between the packets that you get.
Because there were action items from Terry Palmer's report from the state downward to this one that were helpful for us in terms of maneuvering what our approaches were.
I'm
Just a different,
I'm not quite sure
well, it
which.
was the mobility manager on a statewide level, which I found helpful in understanding what the issues are and how we might address them and strategies that are out there, but and I can't remember specifics. I just know there are times when there are issues at that level that
Right,
we
right,
deal with.
right. What we could do is plan to meet in August. And hopefully during the first week of August, when the SCC does meet, they will establish their schedule and we can bring that back and make a final determination in August. We could do that.
Sounds good. Yeah, fair.
Does that make? So
That
we're
sounds good. And
kind of tabling the plan for now until August. And we'll see what the SCC has to say when they reconvene. And then move from there.
yeah, and I was gonna say another kind of fallback position is that some of our committees, we have a minimum number of times per year that we meet. And then the other months is, if there's no pressing business, then we'll choose to not meet that month. So that's sort of a compromise where in that case, we don't end up meeting full time. So
And we've done that before. We canceled the meeting in January because there wasn't anything pressing. There was no point of having a meeting for no reason.
Yeah.
We certainly could do that too. I just think it's easier for scheduling if you definitely know that every other month on Thursday, the fourth Thursday from 10 to 12, this is where we want you to be.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but my book fills up fast too. Yeah.
One other thing, yeah, I was thinking a few weeks ago that every other month would be nice for me. But I can't think of just me. And I think every month for the past year, we've had at least 1 or 2 new people coming in to join. Happens today, right? And I know of a few others as well, the AmeriCorps and even Goodale's. Someone from the police department that could join us. And I'd hate to see, I'd like to be able to do and tell them exactly what you just said. We meet every month. They meet every month as the coalition, right? At City Hall. And that's terrific. When they miss a month, I miss it. But I think the regularity helps, and it helps for new potential members.
I'm not denying that. It certainly does. It certainly does. And again, one of the other things that we wanted to do too was to have more guest speakers, on that, maybe on that odd month kind of thing. And that's something that is a goal, and that certainly is part of the objectives from the LCTP subgroup too, is one of our recommendations.
we have.
So, hold on, Tony first.
Fred Butler joined. Hi, Fred. And then Nani has a question, then we'll get to your question.
Everybody.
Nani, go ahead.
I was just about saying that the every other month is as regular too. If we put out the word there, that we meet every other month, that will be it. And people will spread the word and new members can still join every other month. So I personally think that every other month should be agreeable because many other meetings are adjusting to that. We need to do that. The resources put into organizing it every month can be saved for some other things that are expedient. Thank you.
Thanks, Tony. Carol?
Couple thoughts came to mind in regards to meeting frequency. I'm glad to hear that there's interest in having presentations. I think that's a big drawing card. I know coming from state experience that it was a big drawing card to have a presentation and then it was advertised and noted. So if there's a website, that calendar of events sort of, here's where the meetings are, here's what the agendas are, here's where the minutes are, here's what's up and coming for the new speaker or the topics that we're looking to address. And then being able to point people to that. The Facebook, social media, as everybody knows, is everybody's glued to in some cases. But even some of the other, like neighborhood, not so connected, but still people go on there looking for information if they don't go directly to Facebook or Instagram or something like that.
And
So there's a lot to be gained from the frequency of the meetings. But I think the drawing card is to, what is it are we really looking to gain and who are we looking to connect more with?
Absolutely great points. And I think the sidebar piece about pushing information out on the website. I think better utilization of the Keep New Hampshire Moving website is extremely important because that really is the repository, should be the repository for RCC information of that nature. And that's something we certainly have, I believe, on the LCTP objectives as one of the other recommendations too. So good points. In terms of monthly, every other month. I'm whatever. I'm in the whatever group, so it works for me. I understand folks who may have pressing jobs and full-time jobs, and may prefer the every other month, but we can. I think the plan we have on the table right now, taking July off, reconvening in August, looking to see what the SCC is going to do, and making a decision then is probably our best direction. Salem?
Two quick things. One, for meeting frequency, I wanted to, for the idea of meeting every other month, I always view it as quality over quantity. I think it gives a lot of people who are doing service positions time to have follow-up actions and then have something to report at the next meeting. And I can't tell you how many times a week Donna is like, hey, can you add this person to the RCC list? Can you add this person to the RCC list? Like, it is the biggest list we have and it's incredible. And all the time we are sending out pertinent information all like in between meetings. And so I think that's a great way if you're having new people come in who are interested, oh, let's get you on the list. And then you can find out when the next meeting is. But again, either way is fine. If we stay monthly, also great. The second thing, do we need a motion to table this?
We're getting there. We're not there yet, dear.
Okay, I just wanted to double
We're getting
check.
there. Yes, because it is an action item. We're getting there.
That's it, thanks.
Any other discussion, questions, comments? Sandra, anyone? All right, so can I get a motion to not have a July meeting and table any further decision about scheduling and frequency until our August meeting? For further information, motion by Matt, seconded by Mary Ann. And roll call vote again. Sandra?
Yes.
Yes.
Mary Ann?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Don? Rocky?
Yeah.
Janet, yes.
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 You are a yes.
Oh,
Did you?
I motion.
Or maybe you didn't. You motioned.
That's,
All right. Good. No, good discussion and really excellent points across the board on both sides of the concern. So we'll see how we go. All right. So executive committee update. So now I'm going to backtrack a little bit because I was able to confirm because Rocky Morelli's here from Opportunity Networks. We mentioned it earlier, but congratulations, Opportunity Networks, on getting that nice big check from the Nash.
I know.
As I said, that would
Charitable
certainly,
gaming has been a very positive thing for many of our local charities.
it has been, that certainly will help your bottom line.
We bought a van with our proceeds from our last go round, and we were fortunate to get a second bite at the apple.
Yeah, well, that's what do you mind me asking? Did you have another 5 days this year, or did you just get a second bite? Get another 5 days? Okay. Bravo.
We have some relationship building skills that paid off.
I love it. I love it. Well, everyone loves
Not a lot of
Rocky and
companies.
Opportunity Networks. Plus all that pull you have on your board of directors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good thing.
No, that's excellent. That's excellent. So in terms of other things from the executive committee, we didn't really meet, but I did want to bring up a couple of items just to kind of put them on everyone's horizon. October is traditionally the New Hampshire statewide community transportation month. And in the past, for the past 2 years, we have had regional champions, regional heroes who have been identified and recognized during our October meeting. I just want to get a sense of the room to see if this was something that we wanted to continue as a tradition and part of our celebration here in Region 7. And if so, what I would plan to do would be to start rolling that out in October so that we have sufficient time to get some nominations. In the very first person to receive that award was Lori Lorman. She's the operations director at Nashua Transit, and that happened to coincide with her 40th year of service as an employee of Nashua Transit. And she's still there, thank God. And she is a phenomenal staff member there and just really dedicated to providing transportation to people in need.
That was worthy.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen that often.
No, well, but the second year, I mean, Dawn, it was, your founder
Amazing.
for John last year.
Yeah.
And that was, again, hugely well-deserved. Unfortunately, he had passed before he was able to receive the award, but he also received another award from CTAA down in Texas,
For our,
or RTAP.
that's
yeah.
the Rural Transit Assistance Program.
Yeah, and John was a founder of Gate City, the bike co-op, and just was very dedicated to that mode of transportation and engagement.
I wanted to change the Gate City Bike Co-op to John Burke, like he wouldn't let me do it.
No, of course not.
He was so humble, wouldn't, no monuments, nothing. But he gave me the opportunity to do his eulogy at the Unitarian Church. What an honor.
Well, I think, I think being able to recognize significant members, significant representatives, significant people relative to community transportation is a great way, one, to not only honor them and recognize their efforts, but also, I hate to say it, spin it and have an opportunity to get something out there in the public's eye, to speak to the need for, it's not just Uber and Lyft, guys. There are people who need transportation assist. You were gonna say something?
Clarifying question, so the award would be like delivered in October presumably,
We presented in October here at a meeting.
and then so like August, we would put it forward for nominations.
Yeah, we would set up a timeline. What we've done in the past is circulate the information, circulate the form, send it out, ask for information to come back to. Basically, it's me, just kind of, it's one person, one shot kind of thing to make sure everything's all together. And then the executive committee kind of reviews the nominations, and we go from there. But I want to give people sufficient time. I know for the regional award that we did at, and that's the next thing on my little list of things here, for the champion award, that was a little bit time constrained because of the delays at the SCC and HTA level of confirming that we're actually going to do it this year, and the need to get the information in a timely fashion so they can get the awards made in time. So general consensus, doesn't have to be a vote, general consensus, roll forward with this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
I think Dawn summarized it well. People are humble and they're out there every day. The frontline people are working really hard and making all these things work and taking a minute to step back and look and recognize them. I think that is so important and valuable.
And you bring up a really good point. I mean, this could be a staff person. It could be a volunteer driver. It could be a donor. If there's an organization that is very supportive of community transportation, it could be a founder of an organization. It could be, you know, it's not, has to be in this box. You know, it's a very broad stroke kind of recognition relative to the future and moving community transportation within the region forward. On that note, though, I would like to follow up and say it was really my privilege to introduce and to meet the gentleman from, I always say Apex Healthcare, but it's Alpha Healthcare,
Right.
or Alpha Home Care. He is the human resources coordinator for the agency. But he goes above and beyond relative to helping clients get where they need to go. And he received the Regional Champions Award at the State Coordinating Council meeting on June 4th. We do have a picture and hopefully we can get that. I don't know, Donna, did you set a write-up on that to put into the NRPC newsletter?
So I can do that. I was speaking at Elder Rep to Chantal, and she said he was so happy to receive that award.
Yeah,
It made his day. So
yeah, we hadn't talked about it after the meeting, so I was hoping that you had already crafted up something. And if you don't have the picture, I do have the pictures.
yes.
So yeah, just toss it over to me and we'll just get it into the July one. Super. But yeah, I think he's a very nice young man. Yeah, and he seemed very pleased. Yeah, go ahead.
Nick was also taking photos at the conference. Nick Shelburne.
I have his.
Yeah, do you have his? Okay,
Yeah,
great.
he sent them to me. And Brad put out copies of whatever they took too. So right next. Thank you. Anyone else oh wait. Excuse me. As I set up at the SCC, us people from Nashua need glasses. Because Camille needed them too, you know, it's kind of a challenge there. The only other thing I wanted to bring up was our traditional end of year report. Generally, that's the end of year report for the 5310 program. The funding, the budgeting, what was spent for the year, as well as the rides, the number of rides. That report will have to wait until August. The final billing has not come in. We probably won't get that until, I would say, with somewhere after maybe the 4th of July. But we will have that prepared for the August meeting. To my knowledge, at this point, we are well under budget. So there's no issues there by any means. And we'll be working on numbers so that we have, you know, rides number to report. So you all have kind of a better picture of how successful this really has been this year. And anyone else on the executive committee want to jump in with anything that I may have forgotten? Okay. Then we're gonna move this over to Carrie.
You know what? I don't really have much of an update. We did meet, oh my God, did we meet this month? Yes, we met this month, sorry. But not everybody was there. We had a smaller group, so, yeah, it was a quick meeting. We're still working on the same things we've been working on. Our outreach distribution list that I mentioned last time. And then, you know, just trying to get to as many of the neighboring RCC meetings that we can, so we can, you know, see what other people have going on to see how we can learn from it and, you know, maybe gain information and make contacts and things like that. Just to, you know, improve our communication and, you know, the other goals. Yeah, unless you do have something, but that's all I got. So.
I just have humble apologies. I was tasked with coming up with a briefer infographic for the LCTP goals and kind of objectives area, and unfortunately the budgeting and billing and contract issues kind of got in the way of my time. Since this is not my only job. Sorry, guys. But we will have a document for you that kind of outlines, it's gonna be two versions. It's gonna be a long version that has all the action items that we've talked about that you can see through and digest before the next August meeting. Then there'll be the infographic, quick, down and dirty. Yeah, and I'm trying to be as pithy as possible, taking all the words that are around the table. There've been some great discussions with James and Rocky and Matt, and Donna, and Deb and Angelique and Carrie and Camille. There's been a lot of work put in there, a lot of thought. So we've got quite a long laundry list of ideas that we just got to kind of push down. So that is coming. Like anyone else on the committee like to jump in with anything? Relative to that, I would like to ask a question of NRPC. The RCC in and of itself does not have its own website. We rely on a page on the RCC, or the NRPC's website as one item. We also have a great interactive page and area on the Keep New Hampshire Moving website. But this was just to make sure we had some local information. What's the time frame in terms of us submitting some changes or updates to just the content?
That can happen at any point.
Okay.
Yeah. Even so, we're hoping the refreshed NRPC website will be rolling out some point in July. We're hoping for mid-July, but we'll see how it goes with revise. And yeah, we have access to the beta site right now. We're going in and there's a lot of things to clean up. So at any point, if you pretty much any content that's currently on the NRPC site has been migrated over. So you can use that as a template for any edits that need to be made. Send them over at any point and we'll get them added. If you could do it before July 15th, that would be great because I'm going to be out on medical leave starting on July 15th.
Okay, well, if we do, we do. We don't, we don't. There's got to be somebody behind you that could do it before the August 27th meeting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll be back for that. I'll only be out about 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's, I know Emma has access, Cassie, we're getting Nick trained up, and Sarah. Sarah's always running the show with the website.
I don't think this would be a heavy lift because I don't think there's going to be a whole heck of a lot of change. But I think that's something that the executive committee, in collaboration with Donna, can be working on, as well as making sure that the coordination is between that and we have the same message in both spots, with more emphasis on the Keep New Hampshire Moving website.
And I
kind of a placeholder just to make sure that.
Of course, and I did want to note that as part of preparing for this refresh, we did create a separate page on our site for the Community Rides pilot program. So it has its own.
Is that visible on the website now?
It should be.
Okay, then that's something that definitely needs to be looked at, not just by us, but by the foundation, and I'll let Mary Ann know.
Perfect.
Super. Anything else? You're good? Hi. Angelique is one of the SCC representatives.
I am, and so I don't really have a whole lot for updates, other than the SCC partners with the NHTA for their annual meeting in June. So that happened on June 4th, I believe it was. And so that was a pretty good meeting. It's a great chance for, a lot of people that are from all different regions and around the state to get together, get some good information communicated. There was some really good presentations, one from Scott Bogren from CTAA about some, different changes that are coming up, the reauthorization, that although was sounding like it's probably not gonna make it through Congress before the deadline, which is September 30th, that there is good conversations that are happening that are, you know, looking really positive to make some improvements for transportation providers. So there was also a presentation from Lily Wellington, who is the executive director from the Commission on Aging. The Commission on Aging has been overseeing the Community Transportation Needs Assessment Project, which has come to the end and is starting to wrap up. There's no official, you know, reports or things out yet because it's going through a whole, you know, state communication procedure through the Commission on Aging. But we do know that it's expected to be around the end of July where we can start to see some of that information come out publicly.
Once that information is ready, we will be pushing it out to you guys, just to make sure that you have access to the link, to the information, for your edification.
Yeah, a lot of work went into that project. So the presentation that was shared was, you know, I would say a very high level overview about kind of what the project is, what it is not, and that sort of thing. So not a whole lot of specifics yet that are published anywhere, but we look forward to seeing that, like Janice said. Everybody will see that eventually when it comes out. And then of course the awards that happen for each region and their kind of transportation champion. So that was great. And then just kind of recognizing some other people who retired and different things like that. So overall, really great meeting. I would definitely say consider attending next year if you haven't attended already. So
Do you want to speak to the Rural Health Transformation Grant information?
yeah, I mean, I don't really have any other information about it other than I think by November, we're looking at, well, the Go North team will be looking at starting up phase 2, which includes transportation, which they voiced to Fred Butler. So until then.
Yeah, I think one of my takeaways was that a lot of the conversation and a lot of the idea tossing around at the meeting oftentimes came back to, we need to be at the table, meaning we as a ubiquitous public community transportation network needs to be at the table. DHHS needs to be at our table. We need to be involved and have an opportunity to, you know, benefit from some of these funds that are available, because it's great to worry about childcare and education and getting employment and whatever. But if people can't get to where they need to go for their medical appointments or for their work, you know, it's for naught.
Right. And what we obviously, nobody wants is for this project to, you know, look at transportation under a lens that isn't exactly clear of what is already, you know, happening and what infrastructure is already in place. Who are the current providers already providing these services, right? So the SEC was preparing a letter to just submit saying that basically that we are here, you know, we're ready to collaborate on this.
And this is another letter, right? This is a second letter because they had already sent in a letter with 11 recommendations early on in the application process, if I remember correctly.
I don't know.
They had.
So anyway, the letter that they've been working on, just again, voicing that, you know, we have this whole slew of transportation professionals, providers, infrastructure already in place. So let's leverage that as we move forward in the project.
Leverage as opposed to duplicate.
Right.
Did anyone else have a takeaway? Oh, you weren't there. Takeaway from the meeting?
It was a good conference. Really good. I liked it.
James?
It was good this year, and I took several of my staff, a couple of them, and Beth was there. She got a lot out of it. And, 'cause I'm always afraid of that, you know, people that are kind of new to transportation, they find it extremely boring or helpful, and she said it was helpful. So,
Yeah, I think generally that the speakers were great, especially the guy from CTAA, Scott, he was
Yeah,
very
he was
good.
really good.
He was very good, very informative.
Mhm.
I know I heard some comments of some folks, because after the awards, kind of everyone left, you know, had we had, well, and some people had to, James, I'll give you the benefit of it. But had we had one of those breakout sessions that we normally had or something that had more content, more educational opportunity, that may have been good. It just, and part of it may have been that they ran over in time with the awards, so that kind of abbreviated this next panel discussion. They only had 2 people. So again, but overall, it was very good. Easy location to get to. They have great food. Very comfortable environment as well. So maybe consider it for next year. Unless you're on the golf course
Yeah.
fundraising for Opportunity Networks, which is where Rocky was.
after that last
Golf course
award,
sounds nice, but it was a lot of work.
after that last award, you can take some time off fundraising.
Yes. I just had a comment, not directly to the conference because I wasn't at it, but the needs assessment that they're doing, that's gonna be hugely important. We talked about that at a subcommittee meeting, but I just wanted to publicly, formally thank Angelique for really being the go-between. At our meeting, I know I did, a lot of us kind of downloaded at Angelique as an SCC representative and trying to tie all these pieces together, but she has just been upfront, honest, working with us and supporting, and I really appreciate it. So I just want everyone else in the group to know that she's going above and beyond helping out our region.
I would ditto that too.
Thank you, I appreciate that. I do the best I can. I don't remember everything and I can't take notes that fast, but I do, you know, try to share, you know, as much information as possible. And I just have one last thing. It's not related to the SCC, but so I don't know if anybody's heard about Able New Hampshire. They have their Disability Pride Parade and Festival going on July 18th, which is a Saturday. It's over at the State House in Concord. I want to say it's 10 to 1, and so I'll be there. But it just seems like a really fun, exciting event for people with disabilities to be able to get out, organize, get together, connect.
Do you have a flyer for that?
I do.
I'm gonna shoot it over.
Yep.
We had a group that went last year and they absolutely loved it, and I saw a lot of the videos, and the people that did the presentations are people with disabilities themselves, and it really is sincere and true, and it's a great feel.
And even if you know, you can't make it, like we have a bunch of our clients who like this is like a highlight for them. They want to go, you know, we're gonna bring them. So you know, if you have like your clients maybe interested in this event, it's just a really fun, great thing. So I just wanted to share that.
So you said it's Able, is that part of the SC?
Able New Hampshire.
Yeah, that's not part of the SCB.
That they're their own their disability advocate.
Yes,
organization.
separate group.
She's executive director over there, right?
President. Lisa
President
Stedman.
is Lisa Stedman, who is the regional mobility manager in Region 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Able New Hampshire, there's a flyer out here from their last Friday 12 o'clock information. Get on their distribution list. They're very informative.
Yeah, they're they have a lunch and learn every month. I actually just spoke on the last one, which was on the 19th, about ADA complimentary paratransit. So,
And they do put up, or she will be putting up videos for all of the old ones. Most of them are up.
Yep.
They're Zoom meetings, as well as handouts. It's a great resource. So it's ablenewhampshire.org. And if you look in the upper right-hand corner, it's got what their initiatives, and one of them is transportation, and it's there.
Yeah, and for, I wanna say it's the August one, we're trying to get Lily Wellington to
Oh, great. Oh, good.
give some more information about the community transportation needs assessment at that lunch and learn.
Cool. All right. Let's roll into the regional mobility managers update, highlights, outcomes. What you got, Donna?
So I have the great news. Janet had mentioned at the beginning. I don't know how you find out these things, but
It's on their website. It was posted on June 22nd on their website, yeah.
So anyway, we got the good news from the New Hampshire Charitable Foundation as well as Granite United that we had received, that we will be receiving the $38,000 to help with transportation for those impacted by the opioid crisis. This is opioid settlement money that the companies that kind of benefited from the crisis are paying the states for all the problems that people experience with the opioid crisis. So this grant is for bus passes, which I think a lot of the people that are impacted by this use the bus system. So we'll get some bus passes out to them, also for rides that they need. And then it pays for outreach materials. And part of the whole thing is that we do outreach to the various communities that congregate regarding opioids. So it's Revive Recovery. There's a lot of houses around Nashua. Get out there, as well as the NA organization, go to their meetings, let them know about this. And so 70 organizations had applied for funding and only 24 organizations received funding. I do think that this is substantial, and it's not like a small grant. It's enough that we can really try to help people where they need to go. And we have had sufficient calls for people with opioid problems that it does make sense that we get some funding. Previously, I had asked public health to pay for it because they also get money from the opioid settlements. Now we won't have to do that, and we can just pay for the rides ourselves, which is really good. And as you probably all know, receiving grants, it's very complicated. So we received word on Tuesday and how to figure out the requirements. It's all difficult, but Kate was a great help with this. Our assistant director really helped with the submitting the final requirements, so that was great.
I just want to,
Yeah, go ahead, Matt.
Donna applied for this funding, completely her initiative to go, as I understand it, right, to go ahead, recognize that this was available, did all the legwork. So there was that, and also, I know Jay, our executive director, helped, clean up the final submission. But yeah, it was kind of a cryptic email that Donna got about getting this award. It said, do not forward this, blah, blah, blah. It's like, so that's, I think, to your question, like, how did you know? It's like, we get this email that is, don't forward this, blah, blah, blah. So that's, I think, in any event, great job on Donna's part.
So is there a written plan relative to how you plan to implement this?
So I do have that now, so I can send that to you, Janet, and I will.
Yeah, I
do
think
that.
we need,
Yeah.
I'm putting my foundation hat on here. Yeah, let's, just to get an idea. Again, that kind of gets to also your work plan and understanding that and a number of other things. So yeah, that would be great. Thank you.
We'll get that to you. So also.
And I
the
will
big
share it with the
picture-
executive committee.
Also, the big picture statewide mobility management, we did have a meeting on June 1st. And we had a very informative meeting about Medicaid, and any of the providers here that need information about Medicaid, there is the form, the information is on the desk. So please take it, because that's complicated as well too. So when people need Medicaid, there are some numbers they can call. And we learned a lot more about who to call and how to do that. So that's very helpful. And
Who did you meet with?
So just let me get to it.
Okay.
So Lisa Stedman set up the whole thing, and she did a great job with that. She's very good with that. And it was there's four Medicaid insurance people. So those people were on the Zoom. So those really the people that were on the Zoom. So we didn't meet with them in a group, and we haven't met in person. We used to meet every quarter in person, the mobility managers, but this was all through Zoom. So
the 4 people were from the brokers?
not the brokers. So there's 4.
So they are the
insurance-
regional representatives for DHHS Medicaid?
No, so just let me finish. So it was the 4, there's medical insurance people.
So WellSense,
Right.
American, okay.
Exactly. We have New Hampshire Families, those 4 insurance providers. So they were all on the call. So that was helpful, and hopefully, and any calls that come through, I can direct them to them now, as opposed to just saying call. So that was good. And also too, Ben is going not to be the mobility manager anymore. He's going to be the planning role at Southern New Hampshire Planning. So they're looking for a regional mobility manager in Manchester, Southern New Hampshire Planning Commission. So then also funding. It seems like the funding's running out. So it seems like there's less and less money there. So I'm really trying to spend some time fundraising. I've sent out some fundraising feelers, and also our planners here had some extra time. So Cassie Kaysen crafted a very nice brochure for the program. It's the draft. And also Nick Principato did an excellent job submitting a proposal to the Franklin Savings Bank, which covers the town of Merrimack, Sandra. So we're just trying to get some more funding in there. And we do have a date like Rocky. I didn't know about your date, that there was a casino, you had a date this recently. So let us know so we can go.
Oh, certainly.
Yeah, because that would be good to go. But anyway, so we have a date here in September, the end of September. The foundation has a date too. So, it's
Right, there'll be more information coming out of that from the foundation, but we do have dates in September.
Right, but I just want to let people know, because everybody has calendars, and my theory on all this outreach is just get the word out there as much as you can for people, so then they know this is something they can do to help us with, and people, they enjoy it. So it's just an enjoyable thing for people. So anyway, so we're trying to get funds into the system, because
Who else have you reached out to besides Franklin Savings?
So also, I did send John Gentle Care Rides asked me what he could do. And so I said to him, go to your bank and see if they can give some of their community tax credits to us. And also I did go down to Bar Harbor, and I left your notice regarding the senior,
Senior ID.
Senior ID. So I left it, so they're gonna post that, but Kathy wasn't there, and I want to talk to her about it. So,
Bar Harbor is an application process online.
oh, okay, but with all these things, you have the online, and like, if you go out and you talk to people and you get to know people, then I think somebody's gonna look and even click on it, like with the opioid one. I swear there were 78 organizations applying for that, and only 24 got it. But I think one of the reasons we got it is because just that personal connection. I saw Lisa Vasquez, who used to work for the city. You probably remember her. Right, and so I saw her at this public health meeting, and I didn't say like, go apply and please take off our application, but I kind of said, hi, how you doing? That type of thing.
Well, no, that's it. And that's exactly the way most of the banks work. I mean, you
Yeah.
just have to have touch with somebody there, and then they're gonna redirect you to do it online. So I just know how Bar Harbor works, because I've gotten grants through there before.
Okay, so anyway, but that's that. So I'm really trying to not use up what's there.
And the flyer that Casey
I have here.
presented was for what?
So this is the community rights. This is a draft. So if you could just, you can look at it, it's not, top secret information.
Why don't you send me over an electronic copy?
Oh, okay, well, it's right there too. Okay, so then the bus to Lowell. So I've had inquiries about the bus to Lowell. So people have, a few people had emailed me about it or called me about it. So so I did inquire into the woman who was on the Zoom from LRTC. And she did send us the schedule, which is in the papers over there, the schedule. So that's the schedule, but it's actually not going to stop at this point in Nashua, and it's not because of New Hampshire DOT, it's because of the Mass DOT. They don't have the permission from Mass yet to cross the border. So, but you can still go to, at this point, Buffalo Wild Wings in Tingsboro, and the schedule's on the table. So I do feel like that really helps a lot of the transportation to the Massachusetts medical centers. I think that will help it. And then to the other big centers in Lowell.
Are they anticipating that they are gonna get the approval to go across the line to Nashua?
Well, they don't have it yet, so I guess I think they will, but I don't know the answer to that question.
I didn't know if it had been mentioned in the conversation, that's all.
It was a back and forth email. So I think they assume that they're gonna get it because it's from them.
They do, but you know, they just don't know. We don't know until they know, you know, kind of thing. And they can only now go to, like Donna was saying, the Tingsboro side of the mall where the Buffalo Wild Wings is. So, but they cannot actually come around into Nashua until they get the approval. So that's what we know. That's where it is. Yeah. And it's free.
But it's still at the mall, so that's.
Yeah, it's at the mall.
That's not a big
on
deal.
It's not on the Nashua side and it's not.
But they just can't go swing up to
You
the
can't-
Market Basket like they planned to. kind of
Right,
thing.
and they can't, cause I think eventually they're gonna go to probably like the food court side of the mall, but they can't, of course, do that yet, cause they don't have.
It's right next to the casino.
Yes, well, now they're right, now they're on the casino side, so.
As Rocky well knows.
Yeah,
Walk through to get to the mall.
yeah, right.
Very colorful.
Yep.
So that would be really great if we can get that going. Not that I'm doing anything about it. I'm trying to get the word out as much because we know we want to get people on that bus to keep it going.
Yep.
So there've been some requests of information about it. So as far as outreach, there've been 18 outreach events, and I've started announcing the senior Nashua Transit renewal process, trying to get that out.
Thank
out-
you.
Yeah,
Appreciate
out to
that.
people, because the more people know about something, the better off it is for you and for everybody. And then I also have been announcing the bus to Lowell meetings. So statistics, since the last meeting, May 28th, there have been 46 requests for help. So the unfulfilled ride was one caller wanted the Exuda loan, which was a $600 loan we had, but Digital Credit Union is no longer doing that program. So it's their decision not to do that $600 no interest loan. But thanks to Ben, because Ben really got that out. I have to say that Ben did a good job there getting that out, because a lot of the calls seem to be from Manchester. So thanks, Ben.
Yeah, I think
One caller wanted wheelchair transportation, but our provider could not do the ride. But we do have a wheelchair directory, so I did send along the wheelchair directory. So there are some other ones there in there. And then one caller needed 8 physical therapy rides from Lydenborough to Milford. But we did one ride for her, but we couldn't just fund the rest of them. But it's almost as if I'm running a call center here, as far as like the calls and the community rides, which really require a lot of, I'm not complaining at all, because it's a very good thing, but it's back and forth with the providers and the person. And Stephanie, as you know, right, it's a lot of calls back and forth to people.
So the PT rides, what was the alternative for that individual?
So what happened was that we did one ride, but then her son could do the rides, but he was working. So my sense is that that's what happened with the rides, that we just couldn't do that many rides, because it's 7 rides, 7 something.
I mean, that would be a really good example of follow-up for outcome to see exactly what did happen.
Sure.
You know, I mean, oftentimes we've had situations where I know we provided a ride one way when the family provided the ride the other way. You know, just to kind of balance that out, so.
When I do have time, I do try to call people, but it's just like a matter of like having enough time, the call coming in, the calls going on, people in here, people going in. One caller said, "Yeah, Dawn, you'll like this, you're my angel." Right, and then another caller said, "Hope you get the gold star." And so, that's kind of the report. And it's just past time.
But now is an opportunity. Who's got something cooking we want to hear about? Concerns, events, updates?
But we had
Don.
the bike co-op, we're carrying on what John started doing. So we had a bike clinic at the Ledge Street Schools 2 weeks ago. And we also had a bike clinic at the Boys and Girls Club. And that's where John started his own routine 9-10 years ago. We're having a bike clinic at the Tree Street affair. I can't remember the date.
July 11th.
July 11th?
Saturday. So they're gonna do it in the morning for the tree streets. It's usually in the afternoon, but they're gonna do it in the morning because the Gloria Timmons Community Center is having their event in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So it's in the morning, the tree streets.
And Tom Lopez has a lot of he's the alderman for that
Right.
part of the city.
Right.
So this, I think it's probably about the 7th or 8th year that they do this. So it's a little like a fair for those people within that community. So we'll be doing a clinic and we'll be talking about 3 things: safety, and safety on bicycles. So those are the things. And I'm gonna add I'm glad that you get the grant for the opioid. Because better than 60% of our clients that get bikes are people who are in a program because of the chemical addiction. And they can't drive. So they come to us and almost every one of them will say, if I didn't have this bike, I'd be driving without a license and I'd get in worse trouble. So they're extremely grateful. And Richard Schwartz, who's the new president now, it came up with the idea or the slogan, old bike, new life. And it's been marvelous, been great. And of course, you don't mention it, but you're the vice president of the Gate City Bike Co-op.
We'll remember that.
Yeah.
We know she was on the board. Matt.
I'm on the board of the Community Volunteer Transportation Company. That's the volunteer driver program over in the Monadnock region. And we had our June board meeting, and on the agenda was to talk about the fact that we would like to have a discussion with them about them expanding coverage to Mount Vernon and Lyndeborough and Wilson. So I did talk to them about that for a little bit, and left it with that to be continued in September. We're taking July and August off. So we wanted to we had talked about it previously, but I wanted to get it on in their minds before we broke for the summer. And, come September, we'll probably have more information from our end.
That's very much appreciated. Just to kind of give you guys a quick update too. I think you'll remember back at our April meeting, Marcy Stanton was here from Lyndeborough. And they were interested from the Wilton Lyndeborough Women's Club of exploring the notion of trying to do some volunteer driving out in that area, knowing that our established agencies at that time weren't ready to roll out and expand. We met with them on June 1st, Matt, Donna, and myself, covered kind of, what resources are there, where are the gaps in service, and had a very good conversation, a very productive conversation relative to kind of what it takes to even start, a very informal BDP, or to go all the way up to like a huge conglomerate, bigger than CVTC kind of thing. And they have taken it they've taken the reins in hand. They are working on a survey for their community. And Ben, I want to thank you in Region 8. We borrowed your WHERE survey, gave it to them with a couple of other suggestions, and they're kind of rolling forward. So we're looking forward to seeing what they're going to come out with. And we did SVTC kind of incorporated with the Wilton Library Women's Club permission, some very preliminary advertising about the initiative to see if we could solicit some information. And we did get 3 or 4 people who were interested last Saturday at Wilton Summerfest. So, there's a ball slowly rolling out there. We'll see where it goes. I know that their town administrator, who I had a chance to talk to from Lineborough, is very interested as well. So that gives the kind of the background on that piece and a kind of a catch up.
Yeah,
So thank you though for bringing that to your board's attention again.
you're welcome. We'll go back with more information in the fall.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else? Yeah, go on.
Just real quick, so Donna kind of mentioned it, but so right now, so the National Transit System, we offer for persons who are age 60 and older, our senior ID card. You can ride the regular city bus for free with the ID card. It's something we do through a state grant program through the Bureau of Adult and Aging Services. So in the past, what somebody does is they go to the transit center and they go to the ticket window and they show a form of ID, like a driver's license or a non-driver's or a passport. And then you can sign up for the senior ID card. The clerk will give you a card. It's free. If you lose it twice, then you have to pay for it. But anyway, so but this year the state has instructed us to start having folks fill out an application to get the card because they just want to gather some more data, I guess, or something for the grant program. So it's pretty basic. It's the same information people would normally give to us, their name and date of birth, where they live or whatever. But then they're also having folks fill out on the back of the application are some survey questions. So right now, down at the transit center, for anybody who's 60 and older, you want to ride the city bus for free, you go to the transit center, you fill out the application first, then you bring it to the ticket window and the clerk will help you get your new card. The cards are good for a year. So every June we get new cards. We have to print them and get them a different color, change the color every year. But so when you board the bus, you show your card and you ride for free and be on your way. So, yeah.
Is there an enrollment period? Can you do it any time in the year?
You can actually do it anytime. It's just that we change the cards every June. Like on the flyer now, it says like till July 22nd, because I think we were just trying to get as many people to sign up, now so that they can use the card kind of for the whole year. But really you can come anytime and get the card. So like even if you came on June 1st next year, you could get a card, but then at some point during the month, you might want to come back to get like the new one, so, but yeah.
Let's do a field trip, ride the bus. There's a bunch of us that qualify.
We can qualify, yeah.
Go as a group.
Wait, you have to be Nashua residents, right?
Huh?
You have to be Nashua residents?
No.
There you go.
We'll go for lunch in the Salt Bend or something.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, no, we'll just park our car in the garage and jump on the bus to go to Buffalo Wings and then go to the casino, right?
There you go.
In September.
There you go, in September.
Dots are connecting.
Noni.
Anyways.
No, thank you. Please, Carrie, did you see my form? My son dropped them off in your office.
Oh, I haven't been there yet today. I was at the transit center this morning and then I came here. So I will check for it when I get there.
It's not today. He dropped them off the day he collected them from the doctor's.
Oh, okay. Let me, I think I did get those. I'll give you a call when I get back.
Thank you.
Welcome.
All right, anyone else? If not, I'm not trying to hurry anyone.
I will. Motion to adjourn.
Wait a minute, all I'm gonna say is have a great July, folks, have a great July 4th. We'll see you back here in August, there will be emails and such coming out in between now and then. But thank you all very much. Motion to adjourn, seconded by Rocky.
Yep.
We all agree.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you to everybody online.
Thank you all.
Thanks,
Bye.
Ben, thanks, Noni.
Summer
Bye.
See
Bye,
you guys,
thank you.
enjoy.